Welcome to the Unstoppable Joy podcast, where functional medicine meets the power of Jesus Christ. I'm your host, Kathryn McAdam. I'm a functional medicine nurse practitioner, a Christian speaker, and author, and co-founder of Sozo Functional Medicine. My journey through health challenges, heartache, and overcoming adversity has deepened my understanding of healing. It's not just the physical, but also mental, emotional, and spiritual. In every episode, we explore the path to greater joy, vitality, and spiritual awakening. This podcast is for anyone seeking not only physical wellness, but also spiritual renewal, firmly rooted in the teachings of Jesus. So, whether you're a devoted listener or joining us for the first time, welcome to the Unstoppable Joy podcast. We'll be offering you the tools and wisdom to unlock your true potential and experience boundless joy. So, pull up a chair, grab your favorite beverage, and let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to the Unstoppable Joy podcast. I'm here with my husband, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going great.
I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever heard of the saying, move it or lose it?
Yeah, a lot.
Well, that is what we're going to talk about today, is moving it or losing it.
Okay, sounds good.
In relation to our bodies. And we're going to talk about fitness when it comes to our muscle and our endurance. Two types of exercise that we can do to change the trajectory of our longevity and how we age. There's been all kinds of studies out there talking about exercise, and we've been so focused on how fat people are, we have kind of forgot about looking at muscle. Did you know that muscle will help you to manage your blood sugar?
Yes, I did know that. I've been doing a lot of studying about health lately.
Yeah, so what have you learned?
Well, yeah, I didn't expect that question right away. One thing is that people after the age of 30 can lose 3 to 5% of their muscle mass per decade, which is crazy.
It's
That's
12%
of your muscle mass if you go without sleep for 24 hours, or if you don't get at least 7 hours of sleep for a week.
Yeah, it diminishes that quickly. Mm-hmm. And when people get sick and they stay in bed for a long time, their muscle mass can just decrease. If they're sick, they get deconditioned.
So that bed rest is kind of a fallacy then sometimes. People, if they can feel well enough, they should at least get up and move around. I mean, not for severe diseases, sickness, but you need to get up and move around, move your muscles, and keep them active.
Yeah, that was one thing that when the people were in the hospital and I worked in the ICU, if we could get them up as soon as we could, get them up and sitting upright, even just sitting upright, had a huge benefit for their lung function. And we would actually tilt people up in bed to help have that gravity working on their lungs, and so they would have better lung function. Kind of weird to think about, and they did all these percussion things, but that's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is exercise and how important that is to your health. Do you remember what that verse was that we heard today?
What are you coming up with all these questions for? You didn't even prep me on this.
Oh, honey. It's 1 Corinthians.
I think I do recall it, as a matter of fact. I think it said, don't you know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourselves, but to God. He bought you for a price, so use your bodies for God's glory. 1 Corinthians 6, 19 through 20.
That's pretty good, honey. Did you just look that up?
I might have.
What is that? What do you think that means as far as our bodies? Is it glorifying to God to let your body go?
No, not at all. I mean, all the things that he gave up and put his body through in his mind, emotionally, spiritually, and physically for us. Disrespectful. It's, you know what I mean?
It's an act of worship to actually spend time taking care of the things that God's given you and being a good steward of that. And we've been learning more and more about muscle mass and how it affects our health. There's studies that have shown that it helps to basically keep your brain young if you keep moving. And that muscle mass really is functionally, you have to have muscle mass in order to get around as you age. And it's so important that we continue to move, and not only just having that endurance training, like going for a brisk walk or swimming or riding bikes or whatever, but also that we actually do resistance training and build up our muscle mass, because we lose it so much quicker as we age. What did you say people after the age of 30 can lose it 3 to 5% of their muscle mass per decade? And if you're not working out and you don't have a lot of muscle mass before that age, you can really see the effects of that quickly. And so it's not impossible to gain muscle as you age, but it's a little bit more challenging, and there's some strategies to it, not just going to the gym and pumping iron, but you need to actually eat enough protein to enable your body to increase its muscle mass.
I like that, what we read earlier about metabolic currency. With strength training and boosting your metabolism, it helps you burn more calories even when you're not working out.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what I need. That's what we all need, right?
Right. Good thing we started about 2 weeks ago today with our workout, which is we switched it up.
Yeah, we've been working out consistently for, I don't know, I've been working out pretty much consistently for I'd say at least 10 years. I've
been doing a good 3 years of almost every day, but mostly I used to do walking, yoga, or some light working out. But I mean, we really got to the weights these last 2 weeks, and we got a good program going. And we changed our diets, and we're really going to give it a go for this program that we put together, which is exciting.
So, the importance of fitness is not just so that you can look better. It's really important for functional things, like being able to get around and to get out of bed and to walk and take care of yourself. The biggest thing I saw with my patients in the nursing home is when people had physical declines, they ended up having mental declines, and they would just kind of give up. They just felt useless because they weren't able to get around and do the things that they used to be able to do. And then they have falls, and very, very rapidly, if an elderly person falls and breaks a hip, their morbidity and mortality goes down quite rapidly if they do have a fall. That's why it's so important that you not only work on your strength and your endurance, but also your balance. And that's one thing that you've really enjoyed, Joe, is doing yoga. You had some injury to your shoulder, which was a little bit frustrating and kind of kept him out of doing a lot of stuff that he normally would do. And yoga was one of those things that helped you
strengthen it up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's a combination of things. Like I had mentioned before, so much of what we've focused on for so many years is how fat people are and what amount of fat they have on their body. And we just kind of forget about the muscle, but the muscle is so important.
Regular strength training not only builds muscle, but is linked to increased longevity, like you said. But a study found that people who performed strength training had a 23% reduction in risk of premature death and a 31% reduction in cancer-related death.
Wow.
I mean, the cancer, that's just crazy. You don't think about it, but your body needs to be strong just to accomplish things and to fight back.
Yeah, it's a big part of our ability to repair. Your body doesn't have the ability to fight things off, then you get sick. So, for instance, if somebody falls, okay, if they don't have good strength in their legs and they don't have good balance and they end up falling and they break a hip, then they have to undergo surgery to have that hip repaired. And then a lot of people, just the anesthesia itself will cause them to have cognitive decline because they don't completely clear it because their kidneys are not functioning fully. And then that person is laying around trying to recover, and they end up with pneumonia or a UTI, and then that in turn can lead to death. So it's not just, like we said, it's not just for physically how you look, and they those muscles create the framework of your body, but they're also just for functioning, getting on and off the toilet, for instance, or being able to get dressed by yourself. You have to have the ability to balance and stand and walk and bend. All these things are super important. And if you don't have good muscle strength, if your muscles are atrophying every year and you're not rebuilding them and you're not working them, then you're on kind of a trajectory of being disabled and having to have someone else take care of you, which, none of us want. I mean, everybody, as we age, we're all thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to end up in the nursing home. I don't want to end up with having someone else having to dress me and care for me and feed me. We all want to have a long, healthy life.
Right,
I don't want to have to be dependent on someone else caring for me. I want to have a full life. And the thing is, I see this every day in the clinic. I see people that walk in that look way older than their age. A lot of them walk in, they're my age, and I look at them like, holy cow, you just have not taken good care of yourself. And they look much, much older than they are. And they even have an attitude. I remember I had a guy that came in, he was 56, and he's like, yeah, I don't do that stuff anymore now that I'm old. Like, he literally had this mindset that he was too old to do anything anymore.
People just give in. They see this, they just take the labels right there of 50, of 60. No, I want to be doing things that I want to be better than I was when I was 40 and when I was 30. But, I mean, that might not be too difficult since I was in the bar business back then.
Yeah. And it's crazy because the converse is true. I see 80-year-olds that are spry and they're out playing pickleball and they're living this full, fun life. And then I've also seen 80-year-olds that are wheelchair bound and have not cared for themselves. And the thing that we do today isn't just for today. It's really for tomorrow and the next day and the next day, because our health today and what we do for today is... It basically is, we're going to reap the benefits or the...
I mean, if you can try and get 1% better each day or each week or whatever, it beats not doing anything, and then you're gradually going to get worse. The difference between 1% better, doing something 3 times a week, getting up and moving every day, doing something. Otherwise, it's a gradual downhill. Like people say, you're over the hill, and that's the way it is.
You're over the hill.
Yeah, we want to keep climbing that hill.
Yeah.
My uncle said, he goes, if I'd have known I was going to live this long, he goes, I sure would have taken better care of myself.
Yeah, well, that's the truth.
I don't want to be like that.
You only have one body, and it's a gift from God, and we need to take care of it, and we need to use our body in a way that we can glorify God with that. And when we are not caring for ourselves, when we're overeating or we're overindulging in alcohol or whatever it is, smoking, I mean, people are doing all kinds of crazy things these days, but if we're not glorifying God with our bodies, then we're going to reap the consequences of that. The benefits or the consequences of our actions today, we will be reaping that tomorrow.
And once you get started, especially if you have somebody, an accountability partner, like you and I are great for each other as far as that goes. It just makes it so much better. I actually look forward to working out, especially with this new weightlifting program we're doing. We started at the same time. We started 2 weeks ago, like I said. And
you've already had gains. You have. I already feel fitter, and I have lost some inches, but you've lost quite a lot. What do we figure, like 5 inches or something like that, right?
Something total all the way around, yeah. And
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And we're gonna do it 8 weeks, but I'm excited for the journey, and it just makes you want to do more things and get out there, and excited about the future.
Yeah, so really that mindset is huge, because you're as old as you feel. I've heard people say that many times, and I remember I had a little lady. She was adorable. She came into the clinic and she's like, I don't know what it was. When I turned 83, I just started feeling really old. And most people are like, I feel old at 50 or whatever. That mindset is huge. The other thing that plays into this whole thing is our diet. You can't out-train a bad diet. And having a well-balanced diet, and the standard American diet, which they have named the SAD diet, it is really sad, and it's gotten us into a lot of trouble health-wise in America. They've revamped that, and we'll put it on our website, or actually we can put a link to that in the show notes here. But the majority of your nutrition should be coming from grains and veggies, and then lean meats and healthy fats. Of course, you need lots of water. There's so much that goes into it, but especially as we age, protein is super important. We need that protein. It's the building blocks of our muscles. And protein is one of those things that they lump all the proteins into one category on all the food labels, but it's all actually made up of several different types of amino acids. And not all amino acids are the same. Some of them we cannot produce in our bodies, and we need to get them from food sources. And especially animal proteins are hugely important for our diet. So what type of exercises are best? What is a weekly routine that people should try for? First of all, we're assuming that these people are mostly healthy and they've got the okay or the clear from their doctor, because obviously we are not their doctors. But if they've got the clear from their doctor, what is a good thing to shoot for as far as time-wise and what types of exercises they should be doing every week?
I think every day you should get up and move. I mean, at least get a little walk in, and then the next day a little bit farther. Another key thing is a resistance exercise. If it's light free weights, or if you can't even do weights, just get the motions going and then build yourself up. But
if you're not moving at all, just getting moving itself. Hey, if you're brand new to exercise, or if you're just not used to moving or exercising at all, and once you've got the clear from your doctor, just walking around your dining room table, walking around the house, set the timer and do a minute and then do another minute. Just work yourself up to where you're walking more and more. But if you already are active, what's the goal? How many minutes of exercise should you be having on a weekly basis?
150 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So like 30 minutes at least 5 times a week.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then,
but that, it's not just necessarily, watching this video and doing that or doing that. If you get out and do some of the things you enjoy, like riding a bike, or if you go walking, or if you play pickleball, that counts too. So
yeah. So the whole thing about exercise is for functional things, and riding a bike or going for a walk, those are really great ways of just adding some movement into your life. But if you really wanted to put on muscle, it's equally important to actually do some resistance training.
Definitely.
They've shown it helps to increase not only muscle mass, but bone mass. And a lot of women especially are at risk for having osteoporosis. They say that at least 2 days of resistance training is ideal. And then at least 30 minutes of endurance training. That means like a long walk, or if you jogging or swimming, something that is the whole body exercise, like a cardio type workout. HIIT training is great if you're trying to lose weight, which is a high intensive interval training. And then also doing yoga and stretching is hugely important.
The Pyo and
Pilates.
Pilates, yep, those are good. Mixing it up just makes it more fun too, getting something, you're working different muscles and things like that.
Yeah, and your body likes different activities. It likes to have variety. And just like you need to have variety in your diet as well, you need to have variety in your exercise routine. The other thing that is a benefit of exercise is your sleep. It helps you to sleep better. Especially, they encourage you to get your exercise in before 2 p.m. to help so that to just have your circadian rhythm reset. We talked a couple weeks ago about getting up first thing in the morning and getting some sunshine and having a little walk outside and getting some fresh air to help reset your circadian rhythm. But exercising throughout the day can be very helpful with improving your quality of sleep.
And that goes with the fact that you're tired when you go to bed, your body's tired, but also when you're sleeping, if you have more muscle, that it will burn off more. Your body will keep working during the night to build off that, correct?
Mm-hmm. Also, we were talking about protein, and it's not just having protein like once a day, but having enough protein not only is essential for muscle repair and growth, but did you know that spreading protein out throughout the day is just as important? Studies suggest that this can maximize your muscle synthesis. And when we talk about muscle synthesis, we're talking about those things that are like building, repairing your muscle, and also managing your blood sugar and helping with insulin resistance and really weight loss in general. If you have more muscle mass, you will burn more calories. Also, omega-3 fatty acids are found in fish like salmon, flaxseed. You probably heard a lot about them. They are always advertising them on TV. But did you know that they not only support our heart health, but they're shown to increase muscle protein synthesis and decrease your muscle soreness post-exercise. So if you do start to work out and you're trying to increase your muscle gain, then incorporating some of these things like more protein into your diet and making sure that you get the omega-3 fatty acids post-workout will also help your muscle soreness. So diving in a little deeper, some findings have shown that our lifestyle choices, including our diet, our exercise, and our stress management, can also influence gene expression. So it's not going to change our genes or our DNA per se, but it changes how they express themselves and the things that they turn on and turn off in our bodies. This study is known as epigenetics, and it shows that we have more control over our health destiny than previously thought, which is kind of crazy to think that we can actually do something about how we age. There have been years and years, everybody's been trying to drink the fountain of youth and have these special potions, and the whole time it's basically been in our own power. It's been at our fingertips the whole time. We just need to continue to move, for one, and build muscle, and then consume enough protein to have our bodies have that muscle on it. Should help us age well and have function as we do age. So to wrap up today's discussion, let's touch on longevity and disease prevention. It all circles back to lifestyle choices that we make every day. Regular exercise and a balanced diet, adequate sleep, and stress management are not just buzzwords. They're actually the foundation of a long and healthy life. Exercise is hugely important, not only to have us continue to be able to move and function and take care of ourselves as we age. It has been shown to not only causes us to look better as we age, but also it helps us to manage our blood sugars. And that is, again, back to dementia. That's one of those things that they're calling diabetes type 3 is dementia or Alzheimer's, because it's a buildup of sugar in our bloodstream due to insulin resistance.
You know what I mean? You just got to remember it's never too late to start. You just got to make small incremental changes that they'll have a profound effect over time. We can start out with taking a short walk daily, swap out the processed foods for whole ones, or simply dedicating a few minutes to mindfulness and relaxation. Every step counts.
Yeah. That's one thing that I am so impressed with you, honey, is just all that you are just so diligent. You're very consistent with your schedule and your routines and making sure that you get your goals done.
Well, you have to be. I mean, it's just like we've discussed this whole time. We're there for each other. We push each other and help each other. I don't know. It's exciting to see where we're going to be in the next 2 weeks, in the next 4 weeks, 8 weeks, year, 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep doing this and doing it. We're still going to have fun. We make our exercise fun. We work out together, and it's good quality time mentally, too.
If you're convinced you don't have time or money to invest in your health, consider this. What about the cost of sickness? Ignoring your health today might seem like saving time and money. The reality is that neglecting your well-being often leads to more significant expenses down the road. The time and money that you invest in maintaining your well-being today will pay dividends in the forms of happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life tomorrow. And it's just so true. I think we all can kind of look around and see people that have neglected their health from one way or another. Obviously, there's conditions that people can't avoid, and they end up either genetically or because of exposure to pesticides or chemicals, they end up being sick, and with no fault of them. We do help those people also attain their optimal health as well. Injury, accidents happen, but that should not ever hold anybody back from trying to be the healthiest that they can be. Investing in your health now, whether nutritious food, regular exercise, adequate sleep, or preventative health care, is an investment in your future. It's a proactive approach that can save you from the exorbitant costs associated with treating illness that could have been prevented. And that's the great thing about functional medicine, is it's preventative. We want to work with you to keep you healthy. We're not trying to throw pills at you and keep you on a regimen that's going to make sure that the insurance company and the pharmaceutical companies get their kickbacks. We're here to help you achieve your best health ever. And your health is not something that you can afford to neglect.
So
I think that kind of wraps up our discussion today. Thanks for sharing your insights with us, Joe.
Oh, not a problem. Great job. That was fun. Thanks.
We hope you found this inspirational and practical. We hope that you can incorporate some of these things into your life. Just remember, at Sozo Functional Medicine, we are here to support you every step of the way. We offer advanced labs that can look and see what's going on with your health and be able to support you in your health and wellness goals. Together, we can make a difference and live a long, joyful, filled life. Hey, before you go, how about subscribing to the podcast so you never miss an episode? Also, we would so appreciate a review. It helps others to find this podcast, and it gives us an idea of what you like and what you don't like. Also, to find out more about Sozo Functional Medicine and how to be involved with me, head over to sozofunctionalmedicine.com. That's SOZO functionalmedicine.com. And you'll be able to find out more about what we're doing with Sozo, how to book me as a speaker, and how to book a free 15-minute consult. So, hope to see you there. Be blessed.